Hi, Becca. So this is part 2, and the first question is what we would like people to understand about ME.
So I think kind of one of the big things that people don't understand is that it's so much more than just being tired. Like it's not even being tired. It's like tired doesn't even begin to cover the fatigue. And then there's like all the other symptoms as well. I think so often people just assume that it's just that you're just a bit tired, but I think that's one of the main things that I would like people to understand is that it's so much more and so much worse than that.
Yeah, it's exactly what I've put on my notes, because I think especially because ME is also referred to as chronic fatigue syndrome, people just hear the chronic fatigue. Some of the things that I've put in my notes is it's largely invisible, so you can't see our pain or our fatigue. And then I put that it's unpredictable.
Yeah,
and you have good and bad days. I'm a bit brain fogged. Getting help can be a fight as people don't understand the condition and often just see our age. So, like yesterday, I had an urgent appointment with one of the practice nurses at my GP practice, and she said, "Can you pop in?" And I said, "I can't pop in. I have severe ME. I'm housebound. I need the district nurse to come out." And then I literally had to argue my case as to why I needed the district nurse to come and see me rather than me just popping into the surgery, which is, there's no popping in. Even if I came into the surgery, like when I've got to go for my vaccine, it requires days of rest before and after.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I put is like more research and funding is needed for ME, because it is so underfunded, and we need the research to find better treatments and eventually, hopefully, one day a cure for ME. But it's just not a priority for research and scientists.
Yeah, people just don't realize. Yeah, as you said, people don't realize how severe it can be. And yeah, just there's just not really enough funding and research or anything going into it. Um, Another thing which I put was that it never goes away. I think a lot of people think that if you just sleep enough or rest enough, then it's all going to magically get better, but that's not the case.
And then that kind of nicely leads on to the next bit, was how ME has changed our lives.
Mm-hmm. So I put that it sort of has changed it both negatively and positively. So it's changed it positively in the sense that it sort of made me more grateful for everything that I am able to do. And like when I'm having a good day, I really, really have like so much gratitude for that. Um, so yeah, it sort of has changed kind of my whole outlook on life in kind of both a positive way and a negative way. But I think sort of it's changed my life because obviously this is kind of never how I imagined my life would be when I was 20. Like you just wouldn't imagine it, and it's just taken away so much from what my life should have been, really, and just sort of left me kind of just existing, really. So yeah, it's definitely changed it a lot.
Yeah, pretty much everything you've mentioned is everything that I've kind of written here, is the life that I had planned out for me. I was at university when I got unwell. I hope one day that I can have some sort of a career, but the life that I had planned for me has gone completely out the window. So the next bit, these kind of like flow on from one to another, and this one's about the highs and lows of having ME.
Yeah, so in terms of like the highs, I definitely kind of, as we've already said, is the friends that I've made. Since, and I think also, even though sometimes the friendships are affected negatively, like with people who stop being friends with you because they can't deal with it, in a way, you can kind of see that positively in the fact that it's sort of removed the negative people from your life, and it's sort of shown them for who they really are, and is then left room to make new friends. So yeah, definitely, definite high is yeah, making friends. And also, I mean, I can't even describe the joy and the happiness that you feel when you make a little bit of improvement, even if it's just like a small thing, like maybe managing to walk one extra step or something. It's still this like massive thing. And I remember when I was in Leeds and I went outside for the first time in over a year, that was such a massive like high point. So yeah, those are the definite highs. And then sort of as we've already said, some of the lows are being sort of stripped of your independence, and yeah, having to rely on family and carers just to do kind of basic tasks at such a young age.
So for me, some of the highs are very similar to you, is like finding my true friends and gratitude, and like the time that I spent in Leeds is like some of the things that I redid after such a long time. So things like sitting up, and being able to do things that I couldn't do for such a long time because I couldn't be sat up. I really miss colouring. So when I was able to sit up, even if it was 5 minutes, just doing a little bit of colouring. And again, like you said, being outside for the first time in a long time. And I remember it so clearly because it was absolutely freezing cold. And I was with a nurse called Megan, and we just had like all the blankets that were on the ward, and we sat on the balcony. Megan had made us both a cup of tea, and it was just nice just to hear the city sounds and like the birds and just the like the city sights and just the like the breeze on your face. And I was literally kind of like on the verge of crying because I was so happy, because it was such like, to most people, like going and sitting on a balcony, they don't think twice about. But when you haven't been outside in like over a year and a half, it's just, it's almost magical. And then like the lows for me are the loss of independence and not having my condition understood, and the bad days.
Yeah, yeah. Another low that I've put is kind of when you see other people who are healthy and you see them outliving their lives, and it sort of just re-emphasizes the fact that I'm stuck. Almost feels like I'm a bit kind of frozen in time.
Yeah, like the people that I knew from university, and like when I see my brother is achieving everything that I want to have achieved, like, and you just feel stuck. The next bit is going on to some questions that people have asked. Mm-hmm. So somebody asked me to explain that what a crash is. So because they'd heard of people referring to crashes, but they didn't know what it meant. So they wanted us to explain what a crash is.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, basically, it's just like a massive flare up of symptoms. It's just, yeah, just everything is just worse, really, and it can just leave you stuck in bed or lying on the sofa, just, yeah, I suppose, yeah, that basically is what it is. It's just like all of your symptoms are just heightened and everything's just worse. And I mean, quite often a crash will come after some sort of kind of exhaustion of activity, like exhaustion of energy, but it can be from like the smallest thing, like having a shower or something can cause a massive crash, and they can go on for ages. There's no sort of like time limit on how long a crash can last.
So, and then the other question is, what are your worst symptoms?
So my worst symptoms are definitely fatigue, pain, and brain fog. I mean, just the pain is almost constant, and it can just be anywhere on the body from my head to my toes, and I get muscle pain, I get pain in my bones, I get nerve pain. It's just like this constant, yeah, just constant ache and constant pain. And yeah, I mean, fatigue in itself is quite a painful thing, and it's just constant. Um, yeah, so definitely fatigue and pain are my worst symptoms, and then brain fog sort of comes along with both of those, and that can be really difficult at times as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've put hypersensitivity. Obviously, you can see that I'm wearing dark glasses and that my blind is, as I normally have the blind fully down, but it was too dark to film with the blind fully down. So I'm just trying to tolerate as much light as possible. And then I've got the I can't get the word, cognitive dysfunction. So where that's like the brain fog, but also trying to kind of like when you're struggling to put a sentence together or you're slurring your words and you just can't get those words out and you feel almost trapped in your head, and you just get confused and you kind of forget what words are, and you just get so forgetful. And and then like for me the pain and fatigue is difficult as well. And like the fatigue, there's nothing you can do about it. Like people say kind of like, oh, you just need to sleep more or have a nap, and sleep or napping doesn't make it better. And usually I wake up more tired than when I went to bed.
Yeah.
And it's just the fatigue is just relentless, and it's so hard to describe the level of fatigue.
I'm trying to explain it to someone. I'm like, yeah, imagine you have the flu and you also have like the worst hangover ever, and like you haven't slept, because it feels like you haven't slept even when you have.
And then the next question is, what does a good day and what does a bad day look like? So I've kind of split it up into good day and bad day notes.
Yeah, same. So for me, a good day means kind of minimal pain. Like I would say that today I'm having quite a good day. So I'm still in pain, but not like horrendous amounts of pain. Usually on a good day, it means that I can sit up for a little bit longer than usual. Maybe go out in my wheelchair for like 5-10 minutes, or kind of go out for a short car journey or something, kind of about 5 minutes, and kind of able to spend a bit more time with my family is usually kind of what a good day looks like for me.
Yeah. I have variable good days, but like an average good day is I can manage to sit in other rooms. So most of the time I'm in my bedroom, but we've kind of, one of the spare bedrooms has been made into like a little sitting room, and it's got like a sofa bed in there, and there's a television, and I've got my craft stuff in there. If I can't manage to go downstairs, I can still go across the landing and sitting there and do something. And on a good day, I can do a key activity. I can manage to have a bath with help from my PA.
Yeah. And then for a bad day, I've put horrendous amounts of pain and fatigue. Usually, yeah, sort of hypersensitivity is worse, so I'll be more light sensitive and sound sensitive, and also sensitive to touch, and usually really, really brain foggy, so I can kind of barely get my words out. And then sort of, yeah, basically I just spend like the day either lying in bed or lying on the sofa. And I usually am really dizzy when I have bad days as well. I sort of feel like I feel like the whole room is rocking.
So a bad day for me is I'm in one room in the dark and the quiet. My pain is absolutely horrendous. Like my whole body hurts. I've got like symptom flare up, and I need help with most things on a bad day. And then the last question is positives out of having ME.
Yeah, so sort of going back to sort of things that we've said already is the friendships. That is a really big positive. Yeah, and sort of being able to be more grateful for things are probably my two main positives really about it.
Yeah, and I've put for me, I've done quite a bit of work with Action for ME and the ME Association, and I feel like working with those two organisations helps me feel like I'm using my experience of ME in a good way to help raise awareness and understanding of the condition.
Yeah, yeah, and being able to um, support other people who are maybe newly diagnosed. Like the other day, I had a message from a family friend kind of saying that they knew somebody who had recently been diagnosed with ME, and asking whether I have had any advice or whether kind of there was anything that I could say or offer at all to help. So I think, yeah, that's a positive, is being able to, yeah, raise more awareness and be able to help other people.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's like I have a lot more gratitude in my life, and I'm so much more grateful for everything, whether it be something huge or something small. And like I said, I can't remember whether I said this or not, I'm getting tired. But yeah, definitely friendships have been a positive out of having ME. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't think so. I think that's everything. I think we've
Yeah, I'm getting quite tired now. So, and there's nothing else that I think we've covered over the past kind of couple of videos quite a lot. So hopefully people will kind of understand ME a little bit better. And I think sharing both our stories will help people understand the similarities but also the differences, because every person with ME is different.
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, thank you for doing this collaboration with me.
All right, thank you for having me to do the
And yeah, we'll have to catch up another time. Yeah. Bye for now.